Hi, I'm Carlos Pampanato and I work for Redcliff Family and Community Support Services, and I'm the Special Events Coordinator for the town of Redcliff. I get the privilege of working with some of our community's volunteers and organizations, and here are some of the volunteers that are doing outstanding work in our community.
As a Redcliff victim advocate, we are first on the scene sometimes. If the officers go out onto a call, there's been a tragedy or a crime, then we're called in to be with the victim of that crime so that the officers can do what they have to do, and then we can be there to help that person however it may be. It may be as simple as, like I said, just holding their hands, waiting till family members get there, or it could be escorting them to the hospital, or sometimes our files will lead to going to court with them, and it's just that person that they can focus on. I volunteer because I feel it's important to be out in that community, to be in the community, but also to be that person that is there when somebody's going through tragedy, like a tragedy or a crime. To be that first person, it might just be to make a cup of tea, to hold their hand, or it could be something even more extensive. To help them get through that first initial shock of what's happened to them. And I just like to give back that way. And that someday, hopefully if it's one of my kids going through something like that, that there's going to be someone there to support them too.
Well, victim services is important to the RCMP because we value victims. They are the most important part when it comes to a crime. We have to value them because they're the ones that, in a lot of cases, are the ones that are giving us our best evidence in terms of what has happened to them. And in valuing that and bringing things back to as normal as we can, say pre-crime, working with the victim is so important in order, whether that's with counseling, with getting some restitution, with getting anything for them in terms of, we use the term justice, certainly there. Our victim services advocates are highly trained in that they do get some training before they go out. Some of it is on the job, but prior to that, they go through several days of making sure that they understand what their role is, they understand how to work with the RCMP, and they understand how a victim might deal with trauma in their life. From there, they would go out, not by themselves initially. They would get some experience out there with some real-world situations before they're brought out together. In victim services, the advocates do not go out alone. We try to make sure that there's a couple of people out there all the time. You're dealing with, again, a traumatic experience that people have had, and everybody, including our advocates, will respond differently to that. So some advocates might be more comfortable going out to certain crimes, and some might not.
It is just amazing to be able to be part of that and to assist victims, and to see victims when they receive the assistance, their appreciation and their understanding of it. And our goal right now is to make the public more aware of what we do and what services we can offer. The area that we service is the area that the RCMP service, which is the town of Redcliff and Cypress County. If people are interested in getting involved, and either on the board or as an advocate, or simply just to assist in our fundraising, they can certainly do that as well too. They can either call myself or they can call the office and talk to our program manager that runs the office here in the detachment.
I believe it takes a special kind of person, and I think that's something that you have to find within yourself, is if you can handle going out to whatever the crime is or whatever the tragedy is. You're there to help those people, so you have to be strong in that moment. It's not saying after the fact that we debrief with our partners. We always go out in twos, so we always have someone there to support us too. You're never left alone.
As you can see, the town of Redcliff has numerous opportunities for volunteering. We want to thank our volunteers for making Redcliff a vibrant place to work and play. For more information on how to volunteer in the town of Redcliff, call the Community and Protective Services Department at 403-548-3232.